Hello, welcome to Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James C. Cooley, with my co-host for today's show, Dr. Mike Mantell. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, Dr. Cooley. It's what an honor to be here with you again this week as we unpack health from a 360-degree view. And today we have an incredible lineup of guests. And so I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
Well, I tell you, I'm excited about these two guests and just the topic at whole because it's something that need to be talked about. It's something that is going to help our audience and our viewers to understand what we're talking about ageism. And we're going to get off into that one. And with this great guest, both of these great guests here, I think that they really going to bring us up to snuff of what's going on. But before we do this, I have to always bring in the executive producer and the co-host because she makes most of these things happen. So how you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm really excited about the show today. I am excited about 360 Degree Health, this series. It's a wonderful series. And hey, got the distinguished Dr. Michael Mantell guest co-hosting it with yourself. So we're really excited about the knowledge that he, as well as these guests, bring.
Wow, I can't wait to get started. And so let me tell the audience a little something. Wherever you're watching us at, whether it's on E360 TV, wherever you're watching us at, whether it's E360 TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and other 45 other live streaming platforms, thank you. If you want to be part of the show, all you do is go to whichever platform you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Michelle, can you please introduce the guests?
Well, yes. So the title of this show is 360 Degree Health. Why is wellness the future? And we're having a discussion with Colin Milner. He's the CEO of the International Council on Active Aging and the founder of the active aging industry in North America. And we're also going to learn about wellness and living a long, healthy lifespan. What is ageism? Learn about the International Council on Active Aging, discuss the trends and predictions regarding the future of health and wellness, and some wellness initiatives. And we're also going to talk about prevent age discrimination in our society and changing the perspective of how people view age. So let's talk about our guest today, Mr. Colin Milner. Again, CEO of the International Council on Active Aging and founder of the active aging industry in North America. He's the leading authority on the health and well-being of the older adult and has been recognized by the World Economic Forum as one of the most innovative and influential minds in the world on aging-related topics. An award-winning writer, Milner has authored more than 300 articles. He has published in such journals as Global Policy and the Annual Review of Gerontology and Geriatrics. He also contributed a chapter to the World Economic Forum book, Global Population, Aging, Peril, or Promise. His speeches have stimulated thousands of businesses and government leaders, industry professionals, and older adults worldwide. So please welcome to the show. Well, actually, welcome back to the show, Mr. Colin Milner.
Well, thank you, Michelle. That's right. Where's that audience? See, hear those claps. Come on.
Oh, we're going to have a good time today, Colin.
Well, we always do, Michael. So
Yes,
I'm looking forward to it. And, thank you to yourself and James for having me back along with Michelle.
Hey,
I have
Colin,
been a
for
part
people
of.
that did not see you. I'm sorry, Doc.
I've been a part of the International Council on Active Aging for many years. Serve on the Science Advisory Board to whatever degree I do. And unfortunately, just this year, I missed the annual conference, which I understand was one of the best ever. And so it's truly an honor and privilege to have you come on today. James, can we dive right in? Because this gentleman has so much to share.
Absolutely. First of all, Colin, for the people that didn't see you on the show last time, can you give them a quick background of who you are, what makes you click, and what keeps a smile on your face like you got right now?
Well, I'm a short guy with a big vision. And that is that, my vision is that we can change the way we age. A lot of it is within our control. And by changing the way we age, we change the way society perceives aging. And if we can do that, we live in a much better world than we do today. And really what we're going to talk about today is how to do that. And why wellness is the key to that. But our vision is very straightforward, James, and that is get off your butt, get moving, do things, get involved, get engaged, and things will change.
We have shifted the language when it comes to aging. And it's become a great disruptor, this concept of wellness. Talk a little bit about wellness. What is wellness as the International Council on Active Aging describes it today?
So wellness, as we describe it, is the state of being that is derived from first having the ability to understand, accept, and act upon your identity and capacity to lead a purpose-filled life. If you don't understand that and you can't embrace your identity or change your identity, it's going to be hard to change behaviors. But by doing so, we remain engaged. We live a purposeful life. We're able to do the things we want to do with who we want to do. And really, at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about?
I think that's exactly it. And that's why this concept of wellness today, cutting across fitness centers and continuous care retirement villages, and doctors who are taking care of folks who are getting a bit older, are all becoming much more aware of this. Now, the International Council on Active Aging has defined for a long time 7 pillars of healthy aging. Let's put that up front right away. What are these 7 pillars?
So they really are, in our mind, what makes an individual. So what makes an individual, what supports an individual's whole person wellness concept. So, first you have the physical. If you can't get up out of a chair, your life does change. If you're not connected with people, so you've got the physical, the social, the emotional. We know how COVID-19 impacted our emotional health and well-being, the environmental, the vocational, which is learning new skills or reskilling for work, intellectual, our cognitive abilities, spiritual, remaining connected to either yourself or a greater being, and also environmental, being connected to the world around you and the environment that we have within our brain as well. So there's so many different models out there, Michael. The key is embracing one that you feel comfortable with, but at the end of the day, they all have the same result, and that is if you do them and you implement them, that you will live a better, longer life.
And that's why you talk about recognizing, accepting, and then acting. Let me say that again. First, recognize. You have to be aware. What is it that I want to get up for in the morning? And then accept where you are in your life and what issues you're dealing with, and then act. And so this is critically important. How are you finding this being accepted in the mainstream of our society as we think about aging?
Well, I think if you Google wellness as an example, you will see, for the most part, the 6 or if you Google wellness, you will see, for the most part, a 6 or 7 dimensional model that will come up. So I don't think there's any question that it has been well accepted. What you find is that everybody wants to create something for themselves. Right. So in our industry, as an example, we have people who have a 3-dimensional model, 2-dimensional, body, mind, spirit. You have the World Health Organization. You have the U.S. government. Everybody has their model because they want to put their brand in it. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to 3 things. How do I remain independent? How do I remain interconnected? And how do I create interdependence among each other so that I can actually be purposeful, and that this gives me the capacity and supports my identity to be purposeful. And that's what it's all about.
That's so true. Colin, let's take a step back and talk about the International Council on Active Aging just for a moment.
Sure.
What led you to begin this remarkably impactful organization?
Well, if you go back 25 years ago, really most of what we saw in the media around aging was negative. It was very ageist, still is in many ways today. It was ageist. The images were ageist. The advertising was ageist. A lot of the research and reports that came out were one-dimensional. Society had a very distorted view, and many of us had a very, very distorted view of what aging or what our capabilities were. And what ended up happening was that became normal. And, if you look at the definition of normal, it's basically about regular patterns. It's what we do time and time and time again. And I just got very frustrated with that pattern. So set out to try and change conversation, change the pattern so that we have a new normal. And that new normal is around two words: we can instead of we can't. And we have actually seen that today impact the world around us. And we're not the only ones doing it, of course, but the very essence of understanding that today we have the capabilities and the capacity to fulfill our life's vision is very different than what it was 25 years ago. But it was all bound through or bound to come out sooner or later because of the issue that, the issue that we have in regards to ageism.
We see that, I'm sorry, Dr. Cooley was going to say something.
No, we're going to take a station break right now, but I mean, this is so interesting. Can't wait to, get back and pick this up. And I'll tell you, wherever you're watching this at, if you want to be part of the conversation, ask this great doctor, Dr. Mantell, and ask this great guest, Colin, any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. How you doing out there? Hey, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and I will be teaming up with Dr. Michael Mantell. Well, we're going to do a new series beginning November the 1st. It's going to be a 4-part series where we are going to talk about health 360 degrees, where we teach people how to just think of themselves. You get your mindset right and just think fitness. And we want everybody to dream big, think big, and be big. And we want everybody to be in their ultimate fitness, condition, mind, body, and soul. So this show starts November the 1st, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Dr. Michael Mantell, world-renowned doctor that's doing so many great things, and myself, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. So we want everybody to tune in to our show November the 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd. Who knows? Might be a permanent series. Dream big, think big, and be big. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and my main man, I guess co-host Dr. Mike Mantell. We are exploring with Colin Milner. We're talking about ageism. We're talking about a lot of things that's associated with that. And this young man right here, we can call Colin a young man. I think he's much younger than both of us, But
There we go. There's ages.
Hey, keep working it. It's working.
and he is doing so much, and especially North America, actually around the world, because you all get an opportunity to look at this now, and you all get an opportunity to see some of the great things that he is doing, and I tell you, this is so interesting, and if you want to be part of the conversation, whichever platform you're on, just go to the platform, ask any questions that you might have, and I promise to get you an answer. So, Colin, what are the most challenging things, significant challenges that older adults face when it comes to staying active, healthy, and how does the ICAA address them?
Well, that is a big question, and I'll give you a simple answer. And I think the biggest challenge we have is us. We get in our own way because of what we believe we are capable of, or what society tells us that we are capable of. The exciting part about all of this is that all the things that used to tell us that we were not worthy, to be frank, that we were invisible, are actually now the same things that are telling us that old is cool. We have now the media, we have media images, we have less ageism, even though we still have it. We have research that's more balanced, society is more balanced, and we ourselves now believe that we have the capability to live a better, longer life. So I think we can get over the first hurdle, which is ourselves. And once we have done that, then we need to look at what are the things that we need to embrace to make that a reality. And those things are some pretty straightforward elements. There was an article that just came out, or research that just came out yesterday in regards to 8 health measures that can slow the body's aging process, as an example. Things like keeping your body weight low, blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, all of these different things. There's no great secret to any of this, James and Michael, and that is you move, you don't drink that much, please, you don't smoke, you keep a solid BMI, and you will live better longer. The question is just simply how long, and our goal is to go along and just drop off and drop dead, as opposed to going along and having a slow, gradual decline that is 10, 12 years of health.
I just read that article. In fact, I have some notes. The article, the studies found that people who have followed these 8 measures from the American Heart Association actually can slow the body's biological aging by about 6 years. Eating a healthy diet, being more active, quit smoking. I feel like I want to say, duh, really? Get healthy sleep, maintain a healthy weight, control your cholesterol, watch your blood sugar, manage blood pressure. And the American College of Lifestyle Medicine has been talking about these very same things. It seems like the healthcare world, the world is looking more and more at these things. And that's why many of us who are steeped in this go like, really more? Duh, don't we know this already? And that brings me to this question. We do know this already. What is in the way? Now, you said we are. So how can we help listeners right now get out of their own way and start to take care of themselves and see themselves as able to do these things? Any tips on that, Colin?
I think the first thing is to decide what you want the rest of your life to be like. So I'll give you a very simple solution, or not solution, a very simple example. My grandmother, who just passed away at the age of 111 and 3/4, lived a very vibrant life until maybe the last 4 or 5 years. My mother, who is 85, who has in her genes the ability to potentially live a much longer life than she is right now, has hip issues, and she doesn't want to replace her hips. If she's going to live another 20 years, as an example, would you not want to have a better quality of life? So I think the first thing is to look at what you want your life to be and what are the things that need to happen to make it so. She has decided what she wants her life to be by not having the operation, and I'm not judging her in regards to that, but that is a decision she has made. Many others will have the operation and their life will be very different. So the first thing is, you said, Michael, is it's about us. So we need to make the decision. What do we want our life to be, and how are we going to get there?
And, I would ask somebody who's in that position and have with my own clients, how do you imagine life is going to look if you do have the surgery? And how do you imagine life will look if you don't? And get them to use your word again, identify and accept and act on that kind of thinking. Because not to overuse the quote, but the link is what you think. That's where it starts. And so when you have people who make these choices to say, this is the way I want it to be, we do have to respect that. That makes the most sense.
Well, you do, because, the greatest gift that we have is our own autonomy. And
Right.
taking that away from someone is just as bad as them not doing anything. So, on the other hand, the pessimist always sees difficulty in every opportunity, according to Winston Churchill, and the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. So what we need to do is, whatever our decisions are, to look for the opportunities within that. So yes, maybe she's not going to get the hip replacement, but can she do all these other things to enhance her quality of life, realizing that she is going to have that challenge with her hips?
Yeah. So you talk about hip surgery, and this brings to mind accessibility that
Yes.
folks who are aging face in accessing healthcare. Can you talk a little bit about that? What's that? What's our society dealing with in terms of being able to access healthcare today?
Well, I think it goes well beyond healthcare. So here's my simple take, and that is, when I graduated high school, I worked in a pharmacy, and I happened to get to know a gentleman, and he had this position called loss prevention. It's about people ripping you off and you preventing them from doing that. I did not know that. But I think to myself, the way many of us view aging, and the reality is a lot of it is around loss prevention. We lose our functional abilities, which is what you're talking about. We lose our spouse, our hearing. We lose cognitive abilities. We lose employment. We lose identity, power, access to the things that we want to have access to. We lose our keys. We lose our financial ability. And I think, as we look to who we want to be in the future, one of the things is that we need to look at how to prevent loss, whatever that loss is, and make that a gain. So if we are losing our abilities, figure out what do we do to reverse that. So James, we all know that if you lose 50% of your strength between the ages of 35 and 75 by being inactive, by being active, you can reverse a certain amount of that, which would improve your quality of life. So, look at, first off, what a loss prevention strategy would be for everything from work, finances, spouse's death, vision, everything, and then figure out, how do I take that and morph it into something that is positive to meet my aspirations and expectations?
I know we're going to be probably coming up against the break in a moment, but I want to talk a little bit about how our society views older adults. Is there a society moving towards respect or disrespect? especially as we hear on the national stage with a president who's 81 years old and so forth, and how that's impacting the view that we have of older folks. I'll turn it back to you, Dr. Cooley.
No, I want him to answer that question right there. That was something that I was getting ready to.
So Colin, what do you think about this in terms of our ageistic view of respect amongst the older population in our country?
I think it's despicable. I think it gets in the way of people leading a life that they would like, because people have a perception that is ill-founded. It's not about your age. It's about your capabilities. It's about your capacity. Now, if you don't have the functional capacity, you don't have the cognitive capacity, you don't have the physical capacity, the social capacity, then yes, that's an issue. But because I am I get my butt handed to me every year on the pickleball court by a wonderful lady down in Palm Springs, and she's about 82, 83. She knows the game. She can read the game. She has the capabilities. We've seen people run the marathon and the 100 meters at the age of 100. That's because they can. And so can Biden, and so can Trump. It's funny, people mention all about Biden, but they don't mention about Trump being older as well.
Wow. You called out some good stuff, running the 100 meters at 100, but you're absolutely right, and I want to talk a little bit more about that after the break. But also after the break, we're going to be talking to the Honorable Laurie Edwards-Tate. We're going to bring her into the conversation, and you know what? If you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're on. Dr. Mike and I will make sure that we get you an answer, because we got two absolutely fantastic guests. So right after the break, we're going to pick this back up again. Remember, it's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break. Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, we over here getting educated. With Colin, he's bringing it, and I tell you, Dr. Mantell, he's a genius. He knows something about everything, everything. And I tell you, put these all these great minds together, we can solve a lot of solutions out there. But we're gonna need your help. Everybody have to do their part, especially when it comes to ensuring and making sure that we take care of our elder, take care of yourself. And just we all have to work together. We have to team together. We have to do everything together in order to bring happiness and joy, comfort, to the world. And so, wow, ageism is a problem in most cases because people don't understand. But we're gonna pick it up. But before we do that, I want to bring the next guest on. Bashir, can you please introduce our next guest?
Yes, Laurie Edwards-Tate. Since 1984, Laurie Edwards-Tate has been the president, founder, and CEO of both a nonprofit and currently for-profit non-medical home care aid organization called At Your Home Familycare. It is the state of California Department of Social Services licensed home care organization that currently serves seniors, disabled, infirm, and children, and holds contracts with a variety of governmental and nonprofit community partners. They are funded 50% by private duty and private pay services. Laurie holds a Master's of Science in Human Resource Management and Organizational Development from Chapman University and a life credentialed community college instructor. She established a home care aid training program at Cal State University College of Extended Studies. She's also the founding member of Chapman University's local advisory council. Laurie has so many credentials under her belt: elected official board of Palomar Healthcare District, member of the Association of California Hospital Districts, education committee members. I will be here all day just reading off Laurie's credentials. So I'm just going to pass it to Honorable Laurie Edwards-Tate.
Hello, everyone. It's such a pleasure being here. And frankly, Michelle, I'm just trying to keep up with you and JC. So
that's great. Good luck doing that. Laurie,
so greetings to Michael and to Colin, and so very happy to be here. And my perspective on the aging issue is that we need to create a longevity revolution as a cause. And I found a really interesting statistic that 1 out of every 5-year-olds alive today will live to be 100. So what can we do about that? Now, when we look at, ageism and what is ageism, it's apparently the only socially permissible form of discrimination today. Ageism against people because of whatever their age happens to be.
Laurie, you are steeped in guiding healthcare, the largest healthcare district in California, as an elected official. You have your own private company. How do you see ageism impacting the mental and physical health of individuals, particularly older adults?
It appears to me that ageism is a very negative influence in our society today. What astounds me is that the term became popularized in about 1969. So fast forward, here we are today. And you would think, because of all the advancements in health and science, the issue of ageism wouldn't be an issue, but it is. It exists, and it exists in several different forms. The first barrier in terms of ageism is how we as individuals see ourselves because of the number of candles we see on our birthday cake. So that's the first issue, is our own perception, or as you popularized, Dr. Mantell, the issue of mindset. How do we feel? How do we perceive ourselves because of the number? The second thing is, how does society see us, and how do we interact with each other because of our number? And I'm not seeing that a whole lot differently than I did years ago when I felt that it was something that was really negative for our society in general. The fact of the matter is that because of the baby boomer population, 72 million baby boomers were born between World War I and 1944, I believe. We are going to have a whole lot of people who are considered to be advanced in years. What do we call these people? We call them geezers. Do we call these old men, old ladies? How do we know by being introduced to someone who they are and what they're about, what they're capable of? And it's very interesting that I really do believe, and the insurance industry, perhaps the medical institutions, perhaps have research and data and determine how to treat someone still based on research, based on medicine having been one way at one period of time, medicine is, and healthcare is another way at this point in time. There seems to be a deficit there. So how do we view people based on age?
So Colin, you had the International Council on, get this, active aging has probably done more to promote this notion that I am an active person regardless of my age. And can you talk a little bit about what struggle you went through to have that accepted?
Well, first off, we like to associate the word active with just physical, and it's not. We are actively engaged right now in conversation. So active relates to just that, being engaged in life in all the different areas that you choose that you would like to be engaged. Now, everyone is always going to want to put their own spin on any word that you have out there, from the term older to the term active to whatever it is. But from our perspective, it's always been about how do you remain engaged in life? And then as we look at are things changing, I think what is changing is that the organizations that are finally waking up to help us embrace this next chapter in life are unique compared to what they used to be. You see now the education market now beginning to address older adults who still want to go to school, who still want to remain educated, compared to 20 years ago. You wouldn't even really think about that. I was doing a presentation in Nebraska, and this lady had just got her lawyer's degree, a law degree, and she went through hell to get it because they didn't want to let her into the university because of her age. Employment, people now saying they're going to work longer, and employers are finally waking up, realizing that the younger market is going to be flat for the next decade or so, and that we need older workers in it. So they're beginning to try and respond to whether it's for reskilling or all of these different areas. So I think people are beginning to see the opportunity, and wherever they can see an opportunity, there will be a response.
Laurie, I was going to say, Laurie, this really brings us right back to the work that you do. One of the things that Colin has been promoting is this idea of wellness, and wellness is pervasive, especially in the active aging community. In your company, where you provide at-home care, talk a little bit about how wellness has been part of what you're bringing to the work you do.
I've been a long-term advocate, this goes back decades, for the whole concept of maintaining independence. That's what it boils down to. The ability to live freely on your own terms. What I see the advantage of the types of assistive services we provide, which is now one of the fastest growing components of healthcare today, the licensed non-medical in-home care to provide that very assistance, helps keep people out of institutional settings, costs the taxpayer a whole lot of money, and allows the individual. And as I say this, I have to say we also serve youth. We have persons who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We have clients who are adults, and at some point in time, something occurs and they need a little help to get through it. So to stigmatize problems would be counterproductive to the whole concept of helping people to be independent. I think that what I'm seeing is that, number one, I'm really glad I got involved in the field, and two, feel so good about that because even the social aspect, we talk about loneliness being highly detrimental to physical and mental health, and it's an epidemic worldwide. Even, WHO has come out and said something about that. So by being able to maintain independence, having help that is appropriate in the home, also provides a socialization component that people tend to badly need.
Wow. All of this is extremely interesting. Lauren, you said a couple of things earlier. I know that first of all, I want to congratulate you on winning one of the fastest growing small business in the San Diego area. I mean, you're doing a tremendous job, and I want to say thank you. But Laura, I got a question for you. So you mentioned something about age and individual. So age and individual, because you work with the youth and you work with the elderly, and a lot of people do not understand the mindset, meaning that age is a number. It doesn't put you in a situation where, I'm 80 and you're walking over. Can you explain to our viewers and our listeners that age is just a number? And as long as you have all your mental capacities, everything that you got, you're capable of doing any job or anything that you want to. Can you talk to them a little bit about that? We got about 2 minutes for the break.
Yes, please time me, okay? I really believe everything that you're saying, and I really hold that true. I read a story recently about the super agers, super brains, people who live advanced years, who may have had the same types of medical conditions or needed treatment as average populations of people. But whether it's a combination of genetics, and in these cases, people stay very actively involved, use their minds, sometimes maintain very busy schedules, are involved in research and careers. It actually impacts the dynamics of the brain itself. And even if they find later after they die at about 100, and if the brain is examined, that there may be some indications of some Alzheimer's forming, but somehow because of that, and perhaps genetically too, the brains can be decades younger. And this could even be someone who finds themselves confined to a wheelchair. So we have so much aspect to what we are as humanity, as human beings, that I think now, because of increased populations and medical advancements, we need to really take a look at.
Wow. I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but I can't wait to get back. This is such an interesting topic, and we're learning a whole lot from these professionals that deal with this every day. And I'll tell you what, I hope that you all are taking this in, because we all have elderlies. Folks in our family, we need to understand that we have to do the best to make sure that they are able to do the things that they're doing, stay happy, and continue to contribute to society. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. Dr. Mantell, you chose a couple of winners today. This is our second of a 4-part series, and every week until so far, just second show. We're taking it to the next level. We certainly took it to the next level on this one, Doc. What are your thoughts?
Thank you. So let me dive in here and ask Colin and Laurie a question in terms of where we are as a society. Colin, you were talking earlier about how despicable it is when someone talks about age relating to one of the elected officials that we have or whatever it may be. We know that the International Council on Active Aging urges, promotes, teaches, whatever the word is, people to identify, to accept, and to act, my favorite 3 words that you're using, emotional health, environmental health, intellectual cognitive abilities, physical, professional, vocational, social, which has become very big, even spiritual, which we probably would be wise to talk more about. But what role, Laurie, as an elected official, do you believe that legislation and policy can play in addressing ageism and protecting the rights of older adults in our society?
That's a very good question. And what I'm concerned about is that policies, I'm seeing a lot of really good things going on in the San Diego region. We're a member of Live Well San Diego, and very, very proud of that. But as a society as a whole, I'm not certain we are really planning for what is a silver tsunami, which is already happening. We're seeing impacts today on the healthcare systems. So given that, longevity is happening and we can project, we have over 89,000 persons age 100 now living in this country alone. So we really need to do long range and strategic planning, look at our healthcare systems, look at individuals, look at disability differently, plan our communities, plan our infrastructures, really look at how we create our society as a whole to be accepting of people in general, no matter what their age is. I don't feel we are prepared for this in the long run because, again, we are astounding ourselves as a species that we've been able to manage this long.
Colin, can you point to any examples in the legislature or in policy, any areas where you see hope that this is turning around?
I actually wrote a much longer paper than I would have liked on a topic very similar to this. And there are lots of great examples, whether it's health and all policies, whether it's, the accountable care organizations, and on and on. And all throughout the world, our biggest challenge is actually implementation. A lot of people have great aspirations, can come up with policies and then they sit, or they aren't implemented, or they're implemented poorly. For me, it comes back to just simply, what is life about? Life is meant to be lived. Life is meant to be discovered. And to do that, we need our autonomy. In my mind, we need to plan for generations, not one generation, but generations to have autonomous living. And I believe, from my perspective, that one of the reasons why many people don't move into a senior living community is because they think they're going to give up their autonomy. Where if you look at some of the communities today, I'd move in there tomorrow.
Right.
Lifestyle-oriented communities. And I know that my mom and dad had the same issue when they moved into a community. They thought they were going to have to eat at a certain time. If they wanted to go somewhere, they were going to have to wait for the bus. They couldn't do it on their own, and on and on and on. So I think as a society, if we are looking to plan for the future, I would look at how do we plan around autonomous living, helping people to live the life that they were meant to be. Now that sounds all great, but once again, it all comes back to the implementation. Nothing matters until it hits the road, till it's implemented.
Wow. Yes, you're absolutely right. Nothing until it's implemented. We got about 4 minutes left in the show, and so many things that we want to ask. Doc, we might have to do this again. But this question is for both of you all, a minute apiece. How can individuals and organizations work to raise awareness about ageism and create more of an inclusive and equitable environment for all age groups? Let's go with you first, Laurie. 1 minute.
Okay. I don't even think it takes that long. I believe that we need to start a movement called a longevity movement, revival of longevity, or I don't know what we wish to call it, but instead of replace the word ageism and aging with the word longevity and make it something that starts in the school districts very young, the expectation that we are going to work on our health. And that's a positive thing. It's far more than accepting me for however I happen to be. It's about quality of life. I could go on and on for our next show about barriers I see to some of the things that Colin just mentioned, but that's it in a nutshell for me. I can see t-shirts. I can see more things on this program. I think this program is a very good beginning to that end.
Wow. And your thoughts, Colin?
I think that all we have talked about today, it kind of really covers it. But I think starting with the young children and helping them and us to create a longevity playbook. What do we need to do? What do I want to be like when I reach my grandmother's age? Hopefully I reach my grandmother's age at 111. So what do I want to be like? Do I want to be in a wheelchair, or do I want to be independent and trying to get around and do the things I want? And if that's what I want, then work backwards to figure out what I have to do to get there. A lot of times we have great aspirations, but we don't take the steps to work backwards to then move forward. And I think if we did nothing else, it would be about living an autonomous life that embraces our identity in an inclusive world.
Wow. Well put, my friend. Well put. Dr. Mike, we're down to the last minute and a half of the show. What is your closing remark?
Well, I'll tell you right now, real simple. I think that we have to get rid of the story that we have in our head. We tell ourselves this nonsensical story about what growing older means. And, we have to change that. I ask my clients, imagine you're on the cover of Living to 100 Years Old magazine, and it's 10 years from now. And the interviewer says, what did you do to get here? And you tell me you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this. Start doing it. Otherwise, you'll never get on that cover. It's called thinking backwards from the future. And Colin, you sort of alluded to that. I just want to thank Colin Milner, the CEO and founder of the most important important, impressive organization in this field, International Council on Active Aging, and the Honorable Laurie Edwards-Tate, who's president and CEO of At Your Home Family Care and an elected official representing the Palomar Health District in California, for such an informative show. Thanks to you, James, and to your wonderful bride, Michelle.
I want to thank all of you. But I think that this, Doc, I think this is something that we're going to have to do again. Same topic, expand on it. 1 hour is not enough. So we will be revisiting this one right here if the folks have the time. So I'd like to thank Colin. I'd like to thank Honorable Laurie Edwards-Tate. Doctor, most important, I'd like to thank you for coming up with these ideas and making sure that we have the right guests. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another great show. Most importantly of all, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. We'll be back tomorrow at same time, same place. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.